This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Harakakwadash. Double honors to the Apostle Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well, and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last sects of time. All right. And today we're going to get into how the so-called leaders, all right, as people, that people being Israel, they cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. All right. Without further ado, let's get into this article. It's an article from Newsbreak app. BLM, meaning Black Lives Matters, all right, co-founder Patrisse Cullors admits to using, now this is public record, okay, admits to using $6 million mansion for parties. All right, now that $6 million was proceeds from the death of George Floyd and the police brutality incident. All right, that happened. Now, the proceeds were used to purchase a lavish $6 million mansion, which this article is going to go into. All right, and that mansion was further used for lavish parties. Now, with all this partying going on, this folly, all right, this house of feasting, all right, where was the so-called education in the BLM movement? Where was the education and the funding going towards educating those that could be furthermore subject to that type of police brutality? It was none, man. All right. And we know ultimately that education would have been under the umbrella of Esau. Therefore, this person is going exactly under the agenda and the philosophies and the wine of Esau Edom, man. All right. Now it says Associated Press. BLM Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors is back in the headlines today after she admitted to throwing two parties at the organization's $6 million Los Angeles mansion. That's right. Cullors has faced heavy backlash after the purchase of the mansion went public weeks ago. The mansion was reportedly purchased using donations following the tragic death of George Floyd. Now, this whole BLM, all right, movement was set up by so-called Edomite, but when Edomites are in power, all right, they have so-called leaders of our people that cause our people to err and go off, man. All right, being that of MLK, you got different leaders in the society that have been set up over time, all right, to cause our people to go in a different direction, otherwise that the truth would have them in. All right, now this is the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err. How do they cause them to err? Because you have the BLM movement, which is a so-called profound, right, so-called profound movement within the United States, encouraging the identity that, okay, black people's lives matter as well. They have a life to live. They don't deserve this police brutality. They don't deserve to be portrayed a certain way in America to where they're always getting a short end of the stick. That was supposed to be the outward expression of BLM. But the inward expression is nothing but thievery and robbery, man, and nothing but lies, causing the people to err because they're following after this whole BLM. Oh, I'm a black man. I'm a black sister. Brothers unite. But what are you uniting in? You're uniting in confusion, man. You're not united in the one doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, the letter N says, and they that are led of them are destroyed. That's right, man. They that are led of them are destroyed. Pertaining to you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes, you destroy because you take up in this wine, you take up under these philosophies, you take up under that BLM way of thinking. Oh, okay, they went from BLM to ALM, all lives matter. Then they got blue lives matter. They got all type of lives matter, but it's nothing but confusion, okay? And the scriptures tell you this. We're going to get back to that article real quick. All right. This is Proverbs 11 and 21. It says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. And you have a lot of these so-called Black Lives Matter protests, all right? You have an incident where we've seen all throughout the country, a whole uprising of incidents where you have Jake, all right, so-called Negroes. You got the Trayvon Martins, the George Floyds. You got the Ahmaud Arbery's. You got the Sandra Bland's. You got the Alton Sterling's, right? And they all get killed in similar incidents, police brutality. All right, you have other incidents where They were wrongfully shot, wrongfully targeted, wrongfully stereotyped, and end up losing their lives to police brutality, man. But the scriptures tell you this. Proverbs 11:21, though hand join the hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. So although y'all having these protests, y'all saying no justice, no peace, no racist police, you join hand in hand, you trying to petition for better rights. You so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes should be petitioning to the Most High, man, to get us out of America, man. Point blank, period. That's the only name you should be calling on, man. You calling upon these other guys. That's what BLM is taking you under that approach, man. To call upon another name. To call upon the name that the Lord loves everybody. To call upon the name that the Lord will accept anybody in this organization, man, which BLM promotes. They accept whoever. They're just like the Christian church, man. They accept whoever wants to be a part of them, man. No structure, no organization. That's why you see things similar to this going on, man, behind the scenes. All right, and the Most High is using these things to show you that the leaders of these people are not who you thought they were, man. All right? It says Colors has faced heavy backlash after the purchase of the mansion went public weeks ago. Right, because ultimately, how are these things going public? Through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, using Esau Edom as that sword, man. She's ultimately did something behind the scenes that the so-called elites didn't like, man. And they leaked this information showing her that, look, we got control over you. We can leak this. We could put this out, tarnish your name, show your people what you're really doing, how you really sold out behind the scenes, man. Because that's what she did, man. Co-founder, but yet you're buying a lavish mansion that off the proceeds of a so-called tragic death, man. All they use these debts is come-ups, man. All right? It says, speaking to the Associated Press, Colors confessed to using the mansion. Now, I'm reading this off of this article, all right? These are things that this person has confessed to doing. Okay, it says, speaking to the Associated Press, Colors confessed to using the mansion to throw a birthday party for her son. She also said that a gathering was held at the luxurious property to celebrate President Biden's Sleepy Joe's inauguration. Now, that should throw up a red flag right there, man. She's catering to the agenda, all right, of this presidency, so-called democracy, man, all right, which this country pushes, so-called that left wing, right wing, but it's the same bird, man. And the scriptures speak of that in Revelation, the 13th chapter. Two horns that spake as a lamb, those Democrats and those Republicans, man. All right, but she's just giving over to the life of the image. But let's read some more. It says, Colors denied the purchase was a misappropriation of funds, that it was purchased by BLM. I look back at that and think that probably wasn't the best idea, right, man? Because ultimately, scriptures tell you this. It's Matthew 6:24, Yahushua speaking. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. That's right, man. You cannot serve the Most High material possessions, money, opportunities, all right, a career, a promotion. Nah, man, you got to serve the Most High wholeheartedly. And the scriptures tell you, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added on to you, man. And that master, all right, that other master says no man can serve two masters. You got to come under the suggestion of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. The other master to these people is Black Lives Matters, man. That's a master, man. That's a philosophy that controls these so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes' way of life, man. That gives them that whole idea that, okay, well, we can all come together, no matter if you're Kemet, no matter if you believe in Egyptology, no matter if you're Baptist, you're a Christian, no matter if you're an atheist, astrologist, whatever you are, we could all come together and say BLM. That's what you see at the majority of their protests, all right, the majority of their press conferences, and the majority of these news leaks, man. It all comes out, and the Lord just exposes it, man, all right? And ultimately, let's read some more a little bit in this article. It says, in April, a report was published by New York Magazine revealing the 6,500 square foot campus. So this place was huge, man. All right. All off the sweat and the backs of the death of these so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes, man. So it's the same recycling of things coming around, man. Those same tactics. But guess who's at the spearhead of it all? Esau Edom, man. All right. And Eve, all right, In her mind, she wants the riches, she wants the lavishness, she wants the appearance of being on top in America, right? And her will to do that, she'll do anything to get to that. She'll get anything to get to money, to get to American success, to get to cars, all right, to get to a fancy lifestyle. And ultimately, that's going to destroy her. And the ones that follow after it, they'll be destroyed with it, man. All right? It says, the magazine alleges that it was purchased with funds donated to BLM Global Network Foundation, right? The home was purchased by a man named Diane Pascal 2 weeks after BLM GNF received $66.5 million from its fiscal sponsor earlier that month for housing and studio space for recipients of the Black Joy Creators Fellowship. Now, you got to look at the makeup of these people, all right, the so-called leaders of Israel. It's nothing but so-called moles. It's nothing but women on a feminist power trip. It's nothing but feminine men, all right? It's nothing but coons, man, all right? It's no integrity-held positions up in the makeup of these companies and in these so-called black image what's I'm looking for these so-called organizations that so-called protect and portray you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes, especially you Negroes, all right, in a way that you should be portrayed. See, BLM doesn't represent the men of the Lord, man. We're represented by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We don't take on any other identity except the Lord, man. No other covering, man, except the Lord. All right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel but not of me. Right, you take counsel of BLM, Black Lives Matters, their whole philosophies, their whole way of life, how its members conduct themselves, not the men of the Lord, man. All right, and that's totally out of order, because you even got the scriptures tell you to suffer not a woman not to teach, as well as usurp authority over the man. So in these organizations, you shouldn't even have a woman, point blank period, first and foremost, at the foreface or co-founder, whatever it may be, of these organizations, man. That's off right there, okay? The scriptures tell you it's Yahweh Shai, the man, the woman, and the child, man. So anything that represents, all right, a group of nation of people, our people, is over here by a man, all right? Point blank period. It says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering, right? The covering of the world, the covering of these organizations, these protesters, all right? Not the covering of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that will give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to know that, okay, well, man, I wonder why it's so many shootings of brutality going on around the country. Man, it seems like it's not a coincidence. And that light bulb will go off in your head that it's not a coincidence. It's all by design, man. All right, these groups came into fruition by design, man, to deter you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes away from the truth, man. And it's doing just that. Look at all this money this article entails of, man, being spent towards folly and towards pushing an agenda that's not the truth. It says that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That's right, man. The scriptures tell you, woe to you that go down to Egypt for help, man. Trust in chariots and horsemen, but not look to the Holy One of Israel. You trust in the system. You trust in these $1 million mansion parties. You trust in these banquets. You trust in these secret meetings, these different types of balls and things like that, man. All right, to further the image of the beast, but not the image of the Lord, man. All right, which is righteousness that clothed the faith and truth. Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harakak. Double honors to the Apostle Great Millstone, rule well and teach well, and worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Kwame Yashala. Shalom.